No, it's not clickbait. This video really is about why saving money is a losing game. For real, putting money in a savings account, which we've been told to do our entire life, is actually losing you money. We're going to jump into that, but first, I want to introduce myself in case some of you are new to the channel. I'm 𝗪𝗁𝘁𝗁. I help Black women master their money so they can live life on their terms. My clients include women who want to reach financial independence, who want to travel, who want to move abroad. If you need help in any of these areas, you can book a one-on-one call with me. All right, so getting back to the topic at hand. Savings is a losing game. Now, I said saving money is primarily the financial advice we've all been given our entire lives. I know particularly in my own situation, as I was starting my financial journey, that's literally the only thing anybody said to me. And everything I read was about, you need to save for a rainy day, you need to save for retirement. But the thing that nobody ever talked about, and I'm low-key salty about this now that I know, is inflation. Inflation should be like one of your bigger concerns, because saving money, inflation eats away at your savings. If inflation is one of those terms, if you're like, I've heard of inflation, I know it's probably a bad thing, but I don't really get it. The easiest way to think of inflation is, as inflation goes up, you can afford to buy less. What happens in an inflationary situation is that prices increase at a rate faster than wages. Typically, inflation is about 3% a year. So most people, not me because I was a teacher, but most people tend to get at least a 3% raise or more a year. So your wages are keeping up with the growth in prices. You're okay. But this year, right now, inflation's more than 5%, which it hasn't been that high since the 70s and 80s. So if over the last year, you haven't gotten at least a 5.5% raise, your salary is buying less. You have literally taken a pay cut. Now y'all can kind of see why I'm a little bit salty about the fact that they don't talk about inflation enough when when giving advice to people about, financial literacy, by getting their money together, that sort of thing. If I've piqued your interest and you're really curious about the impact of inflation or the impact of the current situation with inflation, you definitely want to check out Amon and Christina over at 𝗪𝗁𝘁𝗁. I just watched their video they did called High Inflation is Here. And they do a good job going into how is inflation, what are the different ways it's showing up in your life and how you can mitigate it. What does all of this have to do with the title of this video and the subject of this video? Inflation is going to play a role in your ability to reach financial independence, to retire, to, amass wealth. Now, we've all been told to save. And I don't know, when's the last time you checked the interest on your regular savings account? It's probably something like 0.06%, if it's that high. Okay, so you feel me when I say saving money is a losing game. There is no way you putting money in a savings account with a 0.06 interest rate are you going to be able to beat inflation that is normally around 3%. But right now we're experiencing a period of high inflation, and who knows how long this is going to last. So how do you keep up with inflation? How do you hope to beat inflation? Investing. Like I said, if you have any hope of reaching financial independence, getting to a point in your life where you don't have to work, you gotta invest. There are a lot of different ways that you can invest, and they all have their pros and cons, and they vary as far as the barriers to entry, like how much money is it going to take to get in, how volatile they are, how risky they are. Okay, so there is not like one investment that's right for everybody, and I'm not here to give you that kind of information. Now, if y'all would like a video talking about, the different kinds of investments and comparing them, let me know in the comments. We've established you need to start investing as soon as possible. The easiest way to do that is to get into the US stock market. Historically, the US stock market has returned 10% on average. And when we compare that to 5.5% inflation that we're experiencing right now, and you compare that to the 0.06% that your savings account is probably paying you, it seems like a no-brainer, like put your money in the US stock market. I know that can be intimidating and be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. If y'all have learned anything about me on this channel, you know that I am team keep it simple. And so investing in the stock market can be the same way. Now, I am not licensed to give financial advice, okay? I'm a financial educator, not a financial advisor. So I can give you a scenario for what you could do if you wanted to get started investing right today, but this is not financial advice. Okay, y'all? Okay, so if you wanted to get started in the stock market, first thing you need to do is open a brokerage account. Very easily, you could open a brokerage account with any of the big three. That's Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. There are other brokerages, but there are lots of others, but those three are simple and very affordable, okay? Now, once you open a brokerage account, put some money in it. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It could be $25. It could be $100, okay? We're not talking thousands and thousands of dollars. Putting a little bit aside over many years will come back to benefit you, trust me. You open your brokerage account, you put your money in, and you need to buy something. What should you buy? You're thinking, Adelia, there are thousands of stocks. I don't know which ones to buy. Again, remember, we're talking about simple and easy. As we mentioned, the US stock market has returned on average 10%. So why not buy the entire US stock market? You can do that with a total stock market index fund. You buy one thing and it buys you a little piece of the entire stock market. I don't know that it can get simpler than that. There are many different total stock market index funds. You want one that's got low expenses, something from Vanguard like VTI, where there is no minimum to invest. From Schwab, there is SWSTX. At Fidelity, there is FZROX. You can buy VTI and any of those, because I have a Fidelity account and I buy VTI. Or you can buy ITOT. You should be able to buy that in any brokerage account, and it should be very cheap or free. If you're paying more than a couple of bucks for a trade, you need to be somewhere else, okay? Because remember, I'm not going to suggest anything to you that is complicated or expensive. I don't get down like that. That's as complicated as it gets. Opening a brokerage account, buying a total stock market index fund with low expenses. That's it. And keep doing that over and over, and eventually you'll be in a place where you are beating inflation. Now, I know some of y'all are watching this but thinking, but like, what about emergencies? You want to put that money in a savings account? Yeah, you do, okay? You want to not put it in a regular savings account because interest on those is trash. You want to find something that will pay you the most interest. And right now, unfortunately, high yield savings accounts with somebody like Ally. They're not even all that great right now. I think my Ally account is paying 0.5% interest. And it seems like every day I get, or every week I get an email from them telling me they're dropping the rate. But that is still better than what my local bank would be paying me at 0.06%. So, for emergencies, for those short-term goals, like in 3 years, I want to buy a house, that money you don't want to invest. For those kinds of things, your short-term goals and your emergency fund, you do want to save those, but you want to find the vehicle that gives you the highest interest rate, which might be a so-called high yield savings account. It might be a money market account, but definitely look into that, guys. Don't just put your money in your banks, wherever your checking account is, they have a savings account. Don't just assume, oh, I'll put my money in that savings account and it's gonna pay me the going rate. No, you're gonna have to search a little bit. And I'll include a link in the description with the current interest rates that high yield savings accounts are paying and what their minimum deposits are, and hopefully you can find something to maximize your money for your savings. What I want y'all to take away today is that you got to put your money to work. Again, we're not talking about emergency funds. We're not talking about money you're gonna need in a year or two, okay? We're talking big picture. If it's just sitting in a savings account, you are losing money. I don't want you to lose money. Investing is not for rich people. It's for you. If you need more convincing, just take my life for example. There is no way that I would be living this life sitting here in my apartment in Mexico City, retired in my mid-40s, had I not invested. In videos like this, in posts, I can talk about generalities. If you want more personalized assistance and information, you can book an Ask Adelia session with me, bit.ly/Ask Adelia. I've got several options. If you just want somebody to look over what you're doing, to kind of give you feedback, I have a financial wellness checkup. If you've got more specific questions, you can book a 1-hour session or an intensive 3-hour session. After you watch this, I want you to, if you haven't already, check out my video from last week about why you don't need to budget. You would also probably want to check out our Rich Journeys video about high inflation. Be sure to like, to share, subscribe. And if you've got questions or if there is some financial issue that you really want to see a video about, let me know in the comments. Bye, y'all.